News starts now.
Thanks for joining us. I'm David Mulco, and we begin tonight with a major twist in the race for Washington's 3rd congressional district. So let's show you where it stands. Republican Joe Kent is leading 6th-term GOP incumbent Jamie Herrera Butler by about 1,000 votes. Though, as Catherine Cook shows us, the battle for that coveted second spot in this top 2 primary, it's not over yet.
A close race is a close race until it's certified.
Words to remember from elections officials as the race for Washington's 3rd congressional district heats up again. On Monday, 6 days after election night, Republican candidate Joe Kent knocked Jamie Herrera Butler out of 2nd place by 960 votes. Democrat and political newcomer Marie Gluesenkamp-Perez has already secured 1st place, with the top 2 heading for a runoff in November.
It'll be, I think, intense, and it'll catch some national attention.
Political analyst Len Bergstein believes that will be especially true if Herrera Butler, a 6th-term incumbent, isn't there, and Joe Kent is.
If his campaign is a look back to kind of, restore the grievance of the Trump years, if that's what his campaign turns out to be about, and Perez turns out to be talking about something about the future, then it could make the race a lot tighter and a lot more interesting in terms of people's attention than it might be otherwise if it was an incumbent.
On Monday, Kent spoke with conservative radio talk show host Lars Larson. He expressed frustration over division among Republicans during the primary.
They want go along to get along Republicans like Jamie Herrera Butler. And so it's tragic because we've spent millions of dollars, the Republican Party has spent millions of dollars working against other Republicans and my Democrat opponent, Marie Gluesenkamp-Perez, because the Democrats displayed unity and discipline. They got into the top 2 by spending less than $100,000.
Herrera Butler's camp on Monday declined to comment, saying, quote, "We're going to watch the vote count for one more day before making any declarative statements." In Clark County, 143,060 people voted. That's 44% turnout, and according to Auditor Greg Kimsey, the largest primary in county history.
Just a very large number of ballots that need to be processed, and we've never before been verifying signatures the Monday after the election.
And there's still around 11,000 ballots left to go, with those results expected Tuesday evening. But given the high stakes and quick turnaround before the general election, Bergstein says these campaigns haven't a day to lose, including this one.
The campaigns probably right now, starting today, are probably going to meet and figure out, what their top issues are to appeal to the voters.
Not a day to lose, Catherine, even as the votes are still being tallied. So as it stands right now, is this close enough for a recount?
It's close. Right now, it is within recount territory, David. To trigger an automatic recount, the results have to be within 2,000 votes and within half a percentage point. The difference right now is 960 votes and 0.46%. But again, more votes tabulated tomorrow when things could change again. David.
Tuesday is going to be a big day. Thanks, Catherine. Let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now. A man is in jail tonight accused of stabbing a security guard in the head. It happened just this afternoon around 3 at the Oregon Convention Center. Police say the guard was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. They arrested the suspect nearby. The man is also charged with menacing for another incident today and had a warrant out for a previous unlawful use of a weapon charge. Tonight, Multnomah County is reporting another person has died from the heat. That suspected heat-related death occurred Sunday in Portland. 7 others died in the county during the extended extreme heat at the end of July, and that makes at least 15 people who have now died of suspected heat-related illness in Oregon this year. Medical examiners are going to have to do further work to determine the official cause of death in each case. And in southeast Portland, a driver crashed into a Fedex office store this afternoon. Police tell us they believe the driver had some type of medical emergency. The store here is across from Mall 205. Nobody was seriously hurt, but one of the 2 people hit by some debris was taken to the hospital. We'll update you as we learn more.
All right, I've got 2 shooters in sight. I'm going to stay with them. They're at 4 and Everett, walking northbound.
Well, tonight we are getting a rare look at the gun violence plaguing the Rose City. A police aircraft flying above Old Town Chinatown captured a violent confrontation, multiple shooters, flashes of light, and dozens of bullets flying. Police say the shooters here fired more than 80 rounds, and some may find this video jarring, even upsetting. Remarkably, in all of that, nobody was hurt. Mike Benner with the story.
3830, he got shots being fired, active shots being fired.
A rare look at a gun battle in Northwest Portland's Old Town Chinatown.
All right, I've got 2 shooters in sight. I'm going to stay with them.
A Portland Police Bureau airplane tracks a shootout between 2 men early Friday morning near Northwest 4th and Davis.
It breaks my heart. It shows no respect.
Guthrie Murray has lived in the area for decades. He can't make sense of the shooting that left behind more than 85 shell casings. And as you can see in the daylight, noticeable damage, although nobody was hurt.
Sad to see what's happening. It's sad. I don't know if it's making sense, but it's very so you can see my emotion. It takes a lot from me.
The shooting captured from above is the latest in a string of crimes in the Old Town Chinatown neighborhood. On July 29th, a teen was shot and killed near Northwest 5th and Cooch. 2 nights later, a man was injured in a separate shooting near Northwest 4th and Cooch. And on the morning of August 2nd, a woman was stabbed to death near Northwest 5th and Davis. A neighbor telling us this at the time.
So whatever's going on right now is clearly not working. It's escalating. It's getting worse. I'm sure the heat isn't making it any better. That's definitely going to dehydrate people and make them more, delirious and whatnot.
They're shooting each other, dude.
Officers did manage to arrest 2 men for the shooting caught on camera. They seized 2 guns as well. Neighbors are relieved, but can't help but wonder what's next.
I don't know what's going to happen. I really am afraid of the future.
The 2 men arrested are identified as 29-year-old Travis Gators III and 24-year-old Tamarje Polk. They are facing a number of charges, including felon in possession of a firearm and unlawful use of a weapon. Reporting in downtown Portland, I'm Mike Benner for KGW News.
Well, a program meant to augment police and help respond to non-emergency situations, not just there in Old Town, but throughout downtown Portland, now has a new way for you to get a hold of them. Portland's Clean and Safe is extending its hours. It has a new phone number. It's going to come up on your screen right there at the bottom. You see it there. If you're at downtown, you can call 503-388-3888. We caught up with a crew today in Old Town as they picked up garbage and helped those living on the streets. But they pointed out they do much more than that, including providing another resource for local businesses who might have security concerns.
We help people out when they need food or when they're thirsty. Like sometimes I carry like 5-6 bottles of water.
And we're serving as kind of a triage for a very understaffed police bureau in a challenging time.
Yeah, interesting way to put it there. Again, the new number right there on your screen, 503-388-3888 for non-emergency security issues, including people sleeping in doorways or disrupting businesses. But if it is an outright emergency, first call 911. And speaking about the role of law enforcement, several school districts have been debating this issue, whether to keep their school resource officers or SROs. Portland and Salem-Keizer have gotten rid of them. Beaverton is now reviewing its program. So tonight on The Story, Christine Pitawanich took a look at a report the school board considered during their Monday meeting.
The city of Beaverton and the district jointly commissioned the more than 120-page report. Researchers spoke to more than 8,700 parents, students, school staff, SROs, and community members. Here's a snapshot of what the report found. Less than half of students surveyed supported having SROs in schools, and nearly a third said they didn't know anything about SROs. On the other side, the majority of staff and parents do support SROs. Here's one of the people involved in the report who spoke at today's board meeting.
Many people in this review process that we talked to, nearly 9,000, said a lot of people said that they really support SROs in part because they believe, or they want to believe, that SROs stop school shootings from occurring. And the evidence just simply does not support that belief and that perception. There's been decades of research on this that have not been able to quantitatively prove that school shootings are prevented by SROs. And in fact, last year, really recent research has looked at 40 years of school shootings in this country. And what they found is they compared school shootings in schools with an armed guard or officer present and school shootings in schools without an armed guard or officer present. And they found that the death rate was nearly 3 times as high in schools with an armed officer or guard compared to those without one.
The report also found less than 20% of students, staff, and parents actively opposed SROs in schools. Recommendations that came up in Monday's meeting include a focus on expanding access to mental health and wellness services for students and redefining the district's relationship with law enforcement to make it more limited in scope. Nothing was decided, though, and in the meantime, the district still plans to use SROs when the new school year starts next month.
You can bet we'll keep following this one. Be sure to tune into the story for more in-depth coverage of the big issues affecting our community. That is every weekday at 6, only here on KGW.